We also have to admit that it is not just the exclusion of the feminine that we address today. It is the hatred of the feminine. It is the desire to kill, annihilate, do away with the feminine, because that is the ultimate, most extreme definition of masculinity. In order to prove masculinity, you have to conquer and do away with the feminine. And as some wise person said, the woman a man most fears is the woman in himself. We can be instructed by the so-called senseless killings of people, going into a school or a fast food restaurant or a post office and just killing people they don't know with no apparent motive. The school killings were greeted with all kinds of mourning about what's happening to our children. It's wonderful how the media gets gender-free when it's not gender-free, right? It was not our children. It was our sons. It was 100% male, 100% white, 100% middle class or non-poor. It was 100% people who have been raised to believe they have a right to control other people. Not through their fault, but they've been given this drug and they've become addicted to it. We can be instructed by them. We can be instructed by the serial killers, that is, killers who kill for the sake of the pleasure they get in imposing pain and suffering and snuffing out someone else's life, who kill sadistically, serially. They are 100% male, 100% white, 100% middle class or at least non-poor. Don't you think that there would have been some remarking on this if they had been 100% female or 100% African American or Puerto Rican or some, but there was very, very little comment. But if we look at it, the scales fall from our eyes and we see that these folks are the people who have been most addicted to control and superiority and cannot endure the insult of lack of control and therefore will destroy others and even themselves. And now think about September 11th. Who were the people who actually were the terrorists? They were 100% male, 100% middle class, well-educated people who, in their own cultures, had been raised to believe they should be in control. I mean, what more clear statement could we have about the cult of masculinity? But I think we need to think about how bad it is and what the hatred means if we are to take seriously the remedies and the wisdom with which we come. Because it is not just about expressing women's talents. It is not only about bringing the feminine back into society. It is about, probably, given the coincidence of forces in the world now, it is the single greatest force against violence and saving this fragile spaceship Earth that we love so much, on which we can no longer afford to have these kinds of obsessions, these kinds of polarizations.